Today I've come back with some advice. If you want to score goals, play the two striker system. We have scored 51 goals so far this season in 14 games, the highest recorded by any team, and we have done it with this system that we are currently playing. Our two strikers, Lee Jong-won and Baek Sung-jin, are the peak performers in that particular role. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you look at the players sorted by number of goals scored, these two have scored more than half the number of goals we have scored as a team. They both hold 17 goals scored, and just look at the average rating. In fact, they have the highest average rating in the whole squad because of the number of goals they have scored. These two players are at the peak performance. I don't know what I did when I brought them to play together, but they are really delivering. Come to the table and look at the players and just look at the teams. They are the two top scorers of the league, 17 goals each, and average rating they're just up there. Player of the match, they both have the highest. Assists, Sim Jae-ho and Lee Jong-won are still up there. So Lee Jong-won is practically our best player, really enjoying the playing time he's getting. And all of this is just coming from this playing a two striker system. I never thought that when I developed this system, it just came from my head out of somewhere, because I just wanted a defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder, trying to play narrow for a while. And also it has really brought a lot into the team. It has helped us to grow, and it has helped us to really shine a little bit. And also, for some other information, today's episode is going to be on the shorter side. Let's learn the intro and then I will explain why. Well, apart from the fact that I am feeling under the weather a little bit, I don't know if you can hear my voice is a little bit scratchy. I've been hit by a certain cold and I'm just not at my best. And I had to make an episode go up today to finish the week so that we can come back for another next week when it begins. So apart from that fact, the other fact is that we have already secured promotion. Not yet approved by AP, but we are 11 points clear of Yumson Sangsang, who are in second. They were the only team who could have rivaled us for this position, and they have really left it out. If we look at the previous season, 37 points, 38 points would have been enough to see us progress to the playoffs. And you can see here 31 points is all they needed in the previous season. It was a little bit tighter than the previous season. This season I have just run away with it. 11 points is quite clear. And how did we get there? That is the question. The last game we played was against Yumsom Samsung, the game that really got to my head. After I left out this game feeling really badly, I pressed stop record and just left it with there. The next game was literally just the same story. The game against Bonyongs. I mean, we tried our best. Look, we had the best first half performance. Baek Sung-jin a goal denied in the 14th minute. He then scored in the 15th minute. Ryon Jun scored in the 28th minute. Baek Sung-jin in the 34th. Baek Sung-jin missed a penalty in the 40th minute. He has been our best penalty taker through the season. He missed one. I fumed, but Ryon Jun calmed me down by scoring the fourth. Then it all began. Second half drama. John Jo-hoo, Baek Sung-jin at least pulled one back for us to take us 5-2 up. Then John Jo-ho didn't stop. Then Son Hyun Ki made it forward. You know, sometimes 5-4. Sometimes I always feel like we are lucky that a game of football is only 90 minutes. If it were more than that, I approve I would have been crying by now. Just look at what happened in the second half. Our graph just flattened. Then it spiked once with that second goal, and then it just flattened again. They had the worst first half in the history of football and the history of XG that I have ever seen. Then all of a sudden, the second half just started spiking, and every shot they took, they were scoring goals. I felt like crying in that game. We have not yet covered up that misery of ours. I went to the same team the way it was the next game against Ochang. At least this time round there was a variety of the way goals were scored. We were 3-0 up by halftime. Then it all began and I panicked. Yeon Hyun Hyuk started doing it again. I mean, what have we always been doing wrong with this team, particularly? At least Baek Song Jin's hat trick was enough to see us through. Baek Sung Won also scored one in the 81st minute, and they pulled one back in the 88th minute to make it 5-3. The last 5 minutes of this game were really hectic. I felt like I should just shut this computer down and then really leave it to be, because I don't know what I'm playing with. Our second half performances are really poor. Then I went and did a little bit of a tweak to the starting 11, and in the next game there was a response. This game against Cheongju Chongnam, they scored first in the ninth minute. We scored two goals in the first half and two in the second half. At least the system was back to what I expected to be: having a powerful first half, having a powerful second half, and not conceding goals like fools. They scored with the only shot on target. We scored with four of our six on target. It was a really nice goal. And then the latest game, in which we have has recorded the highest attendance ever in the league, not in the league, but particularly for us, we had another massive first half and slept in the second. Not that we slept, we were not creating chances. We were creating chances, but we were not converting them. They pulled one back late on, but it was too late to call for anything. Really good run of results, good wins, number of goals scored were high. And one thing I think you have noticed with that is that Baek Song Jin has featured in the goal scoring charts throughout all of those games ever since we drew 3-3 against Teams of Samsung. He and Lee Jong Won have been back to back, head to head, just scoring goals and giving assists here and there, and that makes them the best players in the league, the current top scorers with 17 goals each. Though there is someone still behind them, seriously tailing them, it is Jung Don Kyun. He's also scoring goals. They are not up there alone, but our two players up there are really flying away with this one. And if you're wondering whether I have no transfers to talk about today, like yesterday, actually no, there is one. There is one, at least. There is only one, nothing more than that. And that one transfer is Kim Hyun Beom. You remember we had a fullback leave us in the previous episode. I had two options to sign from. I sent out two contracts. But then I came back and looked at this guy, Kim Hyun Beom. He can play as a left back and also as a wing back. And believe me when I say, with the way I think the K6 is going to play out, we'll just see it for ourselves later on. I feel like I'm going to revert to using wing backs more than left backs. We'll see how things carry on during that period, but we will see by then. So we have signed him initially as a left back. Is naturally a wing back, but we are training him to play as a left back. He is better than Park Chol Woo in that particular role, but Park Chol Woo, I signed a winger. He's good in the particular positions he plays. A winger, a wing back, and an inverted wing back. This is the main reason I'm saying next season I see myself using wing backs. I now have two wing backs, two natural wing backs in the squad. He's an complete wing back. I have one natural wing back. I have two of them in the squad, and I think I'm going to use them well. Now the problem will come on the right when I decide now to start doing the particular changes. Looking at our squad depth chart, because I think we have now solved this a little bit. There are two on this side. It was currently one. It was only one before Kim Hyun Kyu came into the club. And also our team depth just looks good all around. I don't think there's anywhere I need to improve. Maybe on a defensive midfielder, but our two players, they're okay, considering Shinso Hyobi is starting a lot of games currently. He is our best player. Now, the reason I majorly said I want to make this episode on the shorter side is that I have already completely taken down the league. We have already taken it. With 6 games to go, I am 11 points clear. I don't think I will slip from that. So today I have come back exclusively for the revenge match against Yumsom Samsung. These guys, they made me almost cry when I was shutting down the game last episode. I think it is time to commit a little bit of revenge on them. They have not had the best of forms in the latest time. They have actually dropped a lot of points ever since we met with them and they drew against us. They lost to Chungju Nangnog, and then their last 3 games, they have not won any game in their last three. And we want to make that form for them continue. It is now that time for revenge. I don't think they expected us to come back when they were having their last worst form. We came to them when they were having their best form. They held us to a draw. Now we come to them when they're having their worst form ever. The lineup that was selected for this game is particularly this one, I think the strongest one. Now, the change that I said I had made to help us at least keep the shots off in the second half was switching our two center backs to no nonsense center backs. Uh, yeah, it may be a little bit of a threat, and I'm doing this majorly because I'm using my two wing backs on attack. I've switched both my wing backs on attack. They are giving us that number of goals. There's a good level of affinity between all the players up the midfield, all the way up there. Now, my wing backs on attack, when they will move up a lot, and then my non-nonsense center backs will be laying deep as possible as they can. You can see there in their instructions, they shoot less often, dribble less, more direct passes, take fewer risks, and they hold position. They don't move up the field. They hold their position because we are susceptible to the balls being lofted behind us. When I played them as ball playing defenders, that was seriously messing us up, and that is what I have changed for this role, and we have conceded fewer goals ever since I did that. 2 goals, but we have still conceded. I think that's the motive to the fact that our wing backs are on attack. We can change them back to maybe on support or defense when the game is going against us, but I think we are just too strong for the teams that are up there. We have only that currently, no injuries that we can say are here. We have had a little bit of them in the later days. Kim Ki Hwan had an abdominal strain which he received in training, and he was out for 5 weeks. Other than that, I don't think there is any other injury to talk about. Much of the same, no other thing to do. Let's just go into the game against Yumsom Samsung. I think it is now time for us to exact immediate revenge. These guys, they did me dirty in the previous episode. I don't want to really reuse the same. I am pissed off by what they did to me. I think coming into today's game, there is only one thing in mind. Let's carry all the 3 points, finish the game early the way we are used to, as they are playing their usual uh, 4-1-2-3 with wide players outside, and now our wingbacks being our wingbacks are now on attack. I don't know how we will cope with that, but we expect better from our players. Particularly when I say that, you see, we have an early yellow card. Lihan Jong has already received a yellow card in the first minute, and they have the first shot of the game. Is this game going to go against us for all odds, as I can see? They're having a good run, but Yu Sang Hyung with a corner, and Lee Dong Hyuk makes his second goal of the season. And both his goals he has scored during live commentary. That's really beautiful. A really nice cross from Yu Sang Hyung back to the back post. And Lee Dong Hyuk was just waiting there. Has really nice jumping reach, jumps, heads it. It is 1-0 in the 6th minute. I particularly can say so. Tight offside, they say. I see no tight offside, particularly there. There is a kickoff highlight. Highlights are the peak of this game, aren't they? But our two centre backs here not drifting out of position are really helping us. And that's a ball lofted upfield. What can he do? It was a mistake, and Lee Jong Won scores an assist from Baek Song Jin. I told you the affinity between these two players is just wild card. It's like playing with PES cards, really important. You see, having those FIFA cards that you buy and then everything. I don't particularly use them, but they are mistake from Han Jung Hyun in defense. Baek Song Jin gives pounces on it, gives an assist to Lee Jong Won. It is 2-0 by the 7th minute. Well, our performance in the second half is really expected. We'll see what to change when halftime approaches, when halftime reaches, because that is where we lose our heads, and that's where we definitely lose our calm in such games. Well, it's particularly funny how the first 7 minutes, those were the only two highlights of the game, and that one was nearly a third. That was nearly three. But now, quickly approaching halftime, there are actually no highlights. They have had no shot on target so far. We have had two. Those are the only two goals. This first half will come. This first half will go. Not the prettiest of halves that, as I can say, as you can see from the XG story here. The chances were only those goals we scored. A little bit of spikes, a little small spikes in the chances, and nothing much to talk about. There were 3 shots, none on target. We have had 2 on target, and both are goals. Now that gives a question. What do I do in this halftime talk? When I go to the dressing room, should I place them? Let me tell them I know they're capable of even better. I've not tried this one. Let's see if anything changes. And also, Sim Jeho is complacent. What do I do about him? Is there anything I can tell him specifically? Uh, mm, you keep going, you know you have the ability to make a difference and prove it. He's still complacent. I shouldn't even have talked to him. Let's just start the second half. One notable difference as we approach the half hour mark is that they have come back stronger. They're having more shots. They have had their first on target. Thank God it was not a highlight. We are not creating any more than we were in the first, and that is not a good sign. Well, there is another free kick. Yu Sang Hyung looking for Kim Sang Woo. This time round, Lee Dong Hyuk was not there. You would expect him with his head to be in the same position to score that one, but he is actually not there anymore. Well, it is. I wanted to pause 15 minutes to go till halftime to make a few changes, but now they have a chance maybe to pull one back, and that was nearly one for them. Good thing it just floated over the bar. I'm just going to pause this, and I'm going to go to the tactics tab and make a few substitutions. One thing I would like to substitute out of the game is these players that are on yellow cards, but Lee Dong Hyuk is also one of those players that is seriously fatigued. I'm going to bring on Na Jun Young for him, and then Lee Han Jung is another player that he is absolutely not really performing, and he is already on a yellow card. Shim Song Hyob, I was having 3 yellow cards. Taking out 2 of the 3 would be actually a good idea, not to really lose myself. So I'm going to bring on Kim Ho for him, and then particularly the other players, I think they're all okay, but performing. Kim Hyun Byum on his first game for the as starting for the team is on a rating of 6.8. That's that's good. That's not particularly the best, but it is good to see. The rest of the field I think is okay. We're just going to see out time with them and see whether we need any changes. I have 2 more subs. Let me preserve them for now. 3 minutes to go till full time. I don't think there will be any action. The 3 minutes will come. The 3 minutes will go full time. We have won by 2 goals to nil. Revenge, sweet revenge. 2 goals in 2 minutes. 2 goals in 1 minute actually. Why not for us to win this one? A goal scored, then a kickoff highlight. Well, our first half performance has been good, and then particularly as you can see, we have turned the tides to what we were doing in the second half. Playing the two no-nonsense centre backs has really helped us to hold it up and hold it on to in the second half while we come to finish the game. We have a problem in placing these shots on target, which we have not been having of late. 2-0, I'll take it. I won't complain. Really good enough. I'll just tell them a very nice victory, well done. Particularly, they have really cruised their performance. They are performing. They're growing. They're really pushing the club forward. One thing I will say though is that the club that we have created, I think it's enough. It's more than enough. Look at the goal difference, 28-7. What's That's a massive difference. A really, really massive difference. And Lee Dong Hyuk, you beautiful man, scores his 18th of the season. We have reduced them to scoring no goals. We have actually won our 5th straight match in a row. That's beautiful to see. We are in the longest unbeaten run. Finishing this season unbeaten will be really something nice to see. Our lineup here is okay, but now our 2 players are suspended for the next game. I can't switch up things for the next game because it is nothing much. It is only against I think they are third placed Bon Youngjo, and they are third with a massive difference between themselves and second. 12 points between them. That is particularly 26 points between me and the team in third. That just tells you how dominant we have been. The variety on goal scorers, there has not been much. Mainly Baek Sung Jin and Lee Dong Hyuk have been taking the accolade in that, but it was nice to see our captain score. 4 games to play. I will play them, and we will be back for the next episode on a Monday. Our finances, we are at negative 47,000. What do we do about this finances thing? If you have any advice, please tell me in the comment section. I don't want our club to run bankrupt and then I'm forced to jump ships to a different club because we couldn't help in managing the finances. We have no debts, we have no loans. We have a net debt of 47,000. That's the money that we just saw, and our projection is just negative, 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 negative. Well, we wish to perform better than that. 14 points the difference. That's massive. That's good. That's good enough. I think Lee Dong Hyuk is the Lee Jong Won is the top scorer. Baek Sung Jin behind him with 17. Almost all our goals have come from the two of them. Something beautiful to see. Particularly that just as I have said that I'm going to finish this episode with here. Only one game played. If you ask why, it is because I'm under the weather, and we've also secured promotion in not been approved, but we have already secured it. So I don't see the need to play more games, live stream more games. Just play them off camera and come back for playoff bonanza on a Monday. And I'm saying on Monday because this weekend is a weekend of football. The Premier League is back. Last weekend was an FA Cup weekend. That's why I managed to slip in one video on Sunday as a recording. But this weekend it's a really busy weekend, full of Premier League football, full of La Liga football. Talking about La Liga because I'm a really strong Blaugrana fan. I think I've mentioned the two teams that I support in this one video. That's not supposed to be happening, but I've done it anyway. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next episode. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your football and pray that your teams win the games that they play. Goodbye.